Now at 9, the Better Business Bureau says online shopping scams have impacted some 4-staters.
President Biden says he does expect coronavirus cases to rise this winter, but his strategy to fight them includes shots, not shutdowns. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more on the president's message today, coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. The KBI is assisting the Galena Police Department in a death investigation. Yesterday, police found 68-year-old Gerald Brewer dead in his home on East 11th Street in Galena. Authorities say it's not immediately clear how Brewer passed away. Lawrence County, Missouri prosecutor drops a murder charge against a man accused of killing a woman 33 years ago. Lawrence County prosecutor Don Trotter dismissed the first-degree murder charge against Lawrence Timmons, who was indicted in 2019 in the killing of Cynthia Smith. 31-year-old Smith was last seen leaving a bar in Mount Vernon in July of 1988. Her body was found in a cemetery a few miles away 10 days after she disappeared. The case could be refiled if new evidence is found. Trotter says he dropped the murder charge because witnesses have died and legal changes to the requirements for first-degree murder charges would have made prosecuting the case more difficult. Well, the Carthage woman is speaking out after falling victim to an online shopping scam in the hopes others don't run into the same problem. KON's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with the woman and also has some advice from the Better Business Bureau on how to shop online safely.
Sandra Hudson was looking forward to receiving an inflatable water slide for her kids to play with during the summer. So she was surprised when she saw what had come in the mail.
It was supposed to be an inflatable bonsai water slide with cannons for my kids for $100, and when they shipped it to me, it ended up being a 3-ring inflatable pool for like a baby, and I don't have any of those.
Hudson says she could tell something was wrong as soon as the package arrived.
This is what they sent me, and the package, which I finally threw away, it came from an Alejandro out of California, not even the name of the company.
She was part of an online scam, which the Better Business Bureau says isn't uncommon.
And this is online purchase scams or online shopping fraud. And that's actually been growing in a significant way. It dramatically increased during the pandemic, according to Better Business Bureau research.
When Hudson realized she had been scammed, she reached out to the BBB, who say this type of situation can happen to anyone. But there are certain red flags that you can look out for.
If you're looking online and you're seeing that everything is heavily marked down to the same exact price, that should be a red flag. So if everything was originally $299, $399, $199, and now it's $99, every single product in the website, that's something to watch out for.
And when shopping on websites you've never used before, you may want to take a closer look.
So in the upper left-hand corner where it says HTTPS, that S means secure. If it doesn't have that S, that should be a red flag on a website.
Now Hudson is using her experience to warn others who could be scammed as well.
And if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is.
In Carthage, Bronte Sorotsky, KUAM News.
The Better Business Bureau also says you can go to its website to see if an online retailer is recognized by the BBB to ensure it's legit. Salvation Army bell ringers are a holiday season staple, right? But many local chapters this year are struggling to find volunteers. So the Joplin chapter is willing to pay people to help out, though volunteers are preferred since payment takes away from the money raised. Salvation Army uses the money raised during the Red Kettle campaign to fund programs throughout the year. Very important programs, too. Terry Lund, Royster Middle School PE teacher, is certifiably the best PE teacher in the state. Just ask Kansas Association for Health, Physical Education, and Dance. They named Lund the 2021 Middle School Physical Education Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Lund was honored today with a school-wide presentation.
So when the convention was canceled where I would be receiving this, it's like, oh, that's, upset and so forth. But having this here with my family, like these kids over here are my kids, and it's like priceless. So.
Oh, big congratulations, Mrs. Lund. President Biden unveiling his latest strategy to fight off the Omicron variant. It includes tighter testing timelines for travelers, along with mask mandates and more home testing. Fox's Lauren Blanchard is in D.C. with more.
My plan I'm announcing today pulls no punches in the fight against COVID-19.
At the National Institutes of Health, President Biden laid out his plan to battle COVID this winter.
And it doesn't include shutdowns or lockdowns, but widespread vaccinations and boosters and testing and a lot more.
The president pushed for vaccinations and he urged booster shots for those who received their first shots at least 6 months ago. He wants to keep kids in school with more testing and less quarantine. Plus, his administration is asking private insurers to provide free at-home tests. On a global level, the U.S. will continue to send vaccines abroad. All international travelers entering the U.S. will be required to show a negative test taken 1 day before departure. Plus, he'll extend mask mandates on planes, trains, and public transportation to stop the spread of new variants of COVID-19 like Omicron.
This new variant is cause for concern, but not panic.
He said he expects COVID cases to rise this winter. However, some say they believe the plan is not focused enough on the unvaccinated.
I'm disappointed that immediately with Omicron, we're going to the idea of boosters as the solution. Our problem right now is unvaccinated adults with the risk factor who don't have natural immunity.
The president also says his plan will continue to develop new vaccines and boosters in the case of more variants. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Many doctors say the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines are both highly effective, but new evidence suggests the Moderna vaccine may have an edge. In the first head-to-head comparison, researchers studied health records of veterans who got the shots and found Moderna offered a 21% lower risk of infection and 41% lower risk of hospitalization. The study, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, focused on the initial Alpha variant of the virus. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill today passed a stopgap bill to fund the government and avoid a government shutdown. Once again, Lauren Blanchard pulling double duty tonight in D.C. with the latest.
Merry Christmas!
President Biden and the First Lady lighting up the national Christmas tree Thursday evening. While just blocks away on Capitol Hill, lawmakers work to keep the lights on for the federal government and avoid an end-of-the-week shutdown. Late Thursday, the Senate passing a short-term funding bill, setting up yet another deadline for Congress.
With this agreement, there will be no government shutdown. I am glad that in the end, cooler heads prevailed.
The bill was first approved by the House. It keeps the doors open through February 18th.
221. The nays are 212. The bill is passed.
Then it was sent to the Senate, where earlier in the day, the fate of the continuing resolution was less certain. A small group of Republican senators threatened to delay the bill past Friday night and force a shutdown.
It's not within government's authority to tell people that they must be vaccinated, and if they don't get vaccinated, they'll get fired.
They wanted to defund the president's vaccine mandate for businesses, but Republicans lacked the votes in the Senate, and by evening, the Senate began to move ahead with the stopgap bill.
The only thing worse than running the government under a continuing resolution, a CR, is a government shutdown. A shutdown only hurts the American people.
Next up, Congress needs to raise the debt limit by December 15th. Then the Senate needs to decide on the president's Build Back Better social spending bill. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Well, a member of the KOM family who was a beloved pioneer of four-state broadcasting has passed away. Virgil Glenn was known for his skills as a guitar picker and occasional mandolin player on KOM radio beginning in 1949. He became a performer on KOAM TV beginning in the 1950s, first on the program Circle 7 Jamboree, and later as a regular on Melody Matinee until that program went off the air in 1985. Virgil was with KOAM for more than 37 years and continued to perform throughout his life. Virgil Glenn was 94. Virgil is featured in a 30-minute documentary produced by KOAM last year titled Remembering Melody Matinee. You can find a link to that in this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Virgil Glenn was many things in his life. That includes a hero. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps in World War II. He was an expert rifleman stationed in both the Pacific and the Atlantic aboard the USS Tucson and USS Philippine Sea. From Greenfield, Missouri and Pittsburgh, Kansas, Marine Private First Class Virgil Glenn was a four-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later in sports, Missouri Southern basketball opening conference play against Central Oklahoma.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a great day for us today. We went all the way up into the mid 70s during the afternoon. In fact, we set record highs, which is kind of crazy. It's December 2nd. It's supposed to be kind of cold. Average highs in lower 50s. Just not today. Great shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at our highs. Everybody mid to upper 70s to near 80 in our western counties, which is kind of crazy. We've dropped off a bit, but it's still not bad. Most of us across the board are sitting into the upper 50s at this point in time, which, hey, we'll definitely take. We're only going to drop back near 50 tonight. We have a light southerly wind, which is actually going to keep our temperatures up just a little bit. Looks good. Clear skies. 7th and range line currently sitting at 57. South winds at 10. Humidity is at 55%. But we have clear skies. Nothing's going on here. Really nothing across the Central Plains. Really not much. Out to the west, you can see here is our jet stream way up across the northern parts of the plain. So it keeps all the storm systems well north of us. We do have a couple weak little waves that are trying to kick out, which will over the next couple days. And this will give us a few showers by the time we head toward the weekend. Until then, we look pretty good. Tonight, lower 50s for overnight lows. We are going to get some clouds in here tomorrow, but I think mid 60s by noon. And I think as we head into the afternoon, it looks pretty good. We're going to go into lower 70s for highs, about 71. Not as warm as what we saw today, just due to more cloud cover. Still a fantastic day. Few random showers or even a couple sprinkles will develop tomorrow night. These are mainly going to be in our southern counties. I think most of us will stay dry. And as we go into Saturday, we'll have a northeasterly wind in the morning, so it is going to be cooler, but these winds will switch out of the southeast during the afternoon. So this is going to help us go into the 60s for highs. However, Saturday afternoon, clouds will start to increase, and we are going to get some showers in here Saturday evening into Saturday night. These are not going to be heavy. These are going to be very hit and miss. These will last into Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon, that's when we get a strong cold front that is going to drop in by about mid-afternoon. So I still think we'll press 70 on Sunday, but once the front drives through, we'll fall through the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, most likely into the upper 20s Sunday night. And you can see with it, we may even get a few light little snow showers that pass through the region. So we are going to get some changes in here as we go through the next few days. 71 tomorrow, 65 Saturday, 70 on Sunday. High of only 45 on Monday, and then we slowly warm back up late next week. Of course, don't forget the second half hour, we're going to do the winter forecast. Jordan?
Hey, Doug, thank you so much. Coming up, more details released after a Michigan school shooting, but some questions remain.
A suspected school shooter makes his first court appearance, but still no word on the possible motivation behind the attack. I'm Steve Harrigan in Oxford, Michigan. That story ahead.
As the mourning process gets underway after a deadly school shooting, we're learning more about the suspected shooter, a 15-year-old sophomore. Fox News correspondent Steve Harrigan has more now from Oxford, Michigan.
Sir, do you understand all the charges against you?
Yes, I do. The suspect in the Oxford High School shooting appearing in court for the first time on Wednesday. He's a 15-year-old sophomore accused of bringing a Sig Sauer 9mm gun to school and opening fire, killing 4 of his fellow students and wounding 7 other people before surrendering to police.
The preliminary review of the defendant's social media accounts showed that this defendant planned the shooting.
Prosecutors say in addition to online evidence and other documents, there were warning signs. At least 2 teachers reportedly raised concerns about the suspect, and his parents met with school officials to discuss his behavior just hours before the shooting took place. It's still not clear what motivated the attack, but police say there is no indication the suspect was being bullied.
There is nothing that he could have faced that would warrant senseless, absolutely brutal violence on other kids.
As the investigation ramps up, prosecutors say they are considering charges against the suspect's parents. The gun used in the shooting had been bought by his father just 4 days before the shooting, and under Michigan law, it should have been secured in a locked box.
You can't allow anyone under the age of 18 unsupervised access to your handguns.
The suspect, who faces 4 first-degree murder charges, is being held without bail. In Oxford, Michigan, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Next, fallout over a football team moving out of Missouri.
A settlement has been reached surrounding an NFL team's decision to move out west. I'm Matt Napolitano. I'll have the details straight ahead.
Hackers have breached more U.S. defense and technology companies, and one group says it looks like the work of hackers from China. In November, cybersecurity researchers at Palo Alto Networks revealed one U.S. organization was hacked. Now they say the breach includes at least 5 victims in the U.S. Palo Alto Networks says the hackers stole passwords to gain long-term access to these organizations' networks. It's unclear at this time who's responsible for the breach, but experts say some of the attackers' tactics overlap with those used by a suspected Chinese hacking group. Well, the relocation of an NFL team turning out to be a costly move for the league and the team's owner. Fox's Matt Napolitano explains.
Facing trial in January and denied in their push to relocate the case, the NFL and Los Angeles Rams owner Stan Kroenke struck a $790 million settlement with the city of St. Louis and St. Louis County. The city, county, and the St. Louis Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority had filed a lawsuit against the league and the Rams back in 2017, 1 year after the team decided to return to their former home of Los Angeles. The plaintiffs accused the NFL of violating its own relocation guidelines and claimed the league failed to hold good faith negotiations to keep the Rams in St. Louis, costing the region hundreds of millions of dollars. In a statement, St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones and County Executive Sam Page wrote, quote, "This historic agreement closes a long chapter for our region, securing hundreds of millions of dollars for our communities while avoiding the uncertainty of the trial and appellate process." The settlement also avoided sensitive documents about NFL owners' finances becoming public if the case reached trial. 4 owners had already been fined for not handing over financial statements back in October. As for an NFL team coming back to St. Louis, that was not part of the settlement, and it's unclear how hard the city will push to get another franchise. In New York, Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Coming up, one elaborate Christmas display paying tribute to one great Christmas movie, but the display also causing some city code violations. I tell you, look at this, and I had to put it in the newscast tonight. Look at that, a Christmas display at a house in Southern California drawing crowds. The display is based on the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Clark. Homeowner Jeff Norton adding something new each year. This year, it's a makeshift second story, but listen to this. The city of La Mirada says he didn't get the proper permits for it. Could be a safety hazard. Norton says he's going to pay the fines rather than take the second floor down. He also says he's not asking anyone for help to pay those fines and isn't trying to be defiant, just, according to him, just spreading Christmas cheer. That's pretty creative, you got to admit, though. All right, ever wonder where the tradition of hanging Christmas stockings came from? Well, according to History.com, the story behind the decoration dates all the way back to St. Nicholas himself. The tale says St. Nick, also known as Santa Claus, was bringing gold coins to 3 poor sisters. Jolly old St. Nick dropped the coins down the chimney where they landed in shoes and a pair of socks that they were drying by the fire. Because of this legend, people here in the U.S. and UK tend to hang stockings by the chimney to be filled with sweets, toys, and more, of course. People in other parts of the world, though, such as Scandinavia, leave shoes for Santa Claus to fill. I thought that was pretty interesting, too, just a little bit of history there and how things change with geography. All right, 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. You're going to meet a former Pitt State athlete. Neat story right here. That man now helping kiddos cross the road on their way to school while giving some pep talks as well. Also, some college students getting some Christmas gifts and holiday care from complete strangers. Amazing story. A former Pitt State track athlete gives students at George Nettles Elementary in Pittsburgh a little energy and humor to start their day. And he's doing it as a crossing guard. Sports Director Jacob Leonard has this story.
Dominic Fonseca gives students at George Nettles Elementary a little boost to start every morning.
Look at the fit today. I like the sweater. I don't necessarily look at this like a job, I don't know, it's fun. Boys and girls, the pride and joy of George Nettles. You, sir, have the best day, Mr. O'Brien. The best day! They're up in the morning, they're tired, so I mean that's something that I would kind of want if I was going to school. You know, just someone to hype me up and so I can have a good day, and yeah, it kind of gets my day started too, so. Morning, champ. Oh, have a good one, okay?
Fonseca is a former Pitt State track and cross country athlete. He's now a graduate student at PSU, studying to get his master's degree in social work.
I just felt I could make a bigger impact if I, go back to school, do social work, and work in the child welfare system. Woohoo! Speed racer! Oh, I thought you were gonna keep running.
Helping children is a passion for Fonseca.
You have an amazing day, okay?
Okay.
We'll see you later. It was kind of rough for me growing up, so I think if I had, different resources, a mentor, or, someone to help guide me through, I think it would have been a lot easier road. So I think that's what I want to do now, provide resources for children and families that don't necessarily have them.
But for now,
I'm doing my job. I'm trying to do my job.
He's already making a difference, armed with just a stop sign, a smile, and a little humor.
Hey, you have a
Terrible day.
You too. No kids got hit.
No.
Nope. Then we
didn't get hit either.
There we go. Then we passed today.
In Pittsburgh, Jacob Leonard, KOAM News.
Such an important thing to start the day off strong, right? Fonseca, by the way, is originally from Wichita. He was an all MIAA cross-country runner for Pitt State, competing for the Gorillas from 2015 to 2018. The Ocean Missouri School District today unveiled a new athletics facility. The Lazy Boy End Zone facility is 43,000 square feet, houses locker rooms, concessions, restrooms, and an indoor practice space.
So it will be a locker room and coaching space for our football and our track programs, but it will also give dance, cheer a chance to change during the football season. And then the indoor facility will be available for all of our teams in the off season.
The entire facility cost $5.4 million. Voters approved it through a ballot measure back in July of 2020. The facility is named after Lazy Boy because the company donated $400,000 for this project. This year, Joplin community members playing Santa Claus for some students at Missouri Southern. It was through a Lion co-op program called Adopt a Lion. As the name implies, folks could anonymously adopt a participating student and buy them some Christmas gifts. Today, the students picked up those gifts.
The students that we have that participate in Adopt a Lion are not our traditional student or the traditional customers of the Lion Co-op food pantry. It's a lot of students that have children, that have families, and are needing things like diapers and bedding and towels.
38 sponsors took part in the Adopt a Lion program. Heads up here, more than 300,000 wireless earphones sold nationwide are being recalled. They have the potential to overheat and burn consumers. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says Dewalt Jobsite Pro wireless earphones can overheat while charging or in use, posing burn and fire hazards. So far, there have been at least 60 reports of the earphones overheating, including 5 reports of the product catching fire, 4 that the product caused minor burns. The earphones were sold nationwide within electronic stores and hardware stores such as Home Depot, Lowe's from December of 2019 to July of 2021. They were also available online at cyberguys.com. The recalled product can be identified by its black and yellow neckband and wired earbuds. Hey parents, time to put down the tablet, the electronic tablet that is. Pick up the picture book, the old school thing. Do that while reading with your kids. New research suggests books are better for reading time with children than tablets or ebooks. A study published in the journal Pediatrics analyzed the interactions between 72 parents and their toddler, and researchers found parents using ebooks had less of an opportunity to interact with their child and the story, while parents reading from a physical book were able to ask questions, start conversations. The study says this interaction and communication while reading helps toddlers' cognitive development. The United States and Mexico have reached a deal to reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, but this time the program will see some major changes. Fox News senior correspondent Casey Stiegel has more.
Complying with a court order, the Biden administration is relaunching a border policy next week that many have deemed controversial. The Remain in Mexico program requires that asylum seekers stay in Mexico until their U.S. immigration court date. Former President Trump implemented the policy in 2019, but President Biden suspended it, calling the idea inhumane. The White House says his opinion has not changed.
It has imposed unjustifiable human costs, pulled resources and personnel away from other priority efforts. We're under a court, abiding by a court ruling. And so that is what we are working to implement at this point in time.
This time, the policy includes major additions and changes demanded by Mexico. The U.S. will aim to complete migrants' cases within 180 days and ensure safe travel to and from court. Migrants subject to the policy will also be vaccinated against COVID-19. In a statement, Mexico's government says it will not, quote, return to their home countries certain migrants who have an appointment to appear before an immigration judge in the United States to request asylum there. The decision comes as migrants continue to flock the border and overwhelm law enforcement agencies. Former President Trump says the blame lies solely with the current administration.
If Joe Biden would have come in and just gone to the beach, he would have been successful in many ways because all of this stuff, the border was the best it ever was.
U.S. border officials could start returning migrants under the policy starting as early as next Monday. That's the latest from La Jolla, Texas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
And a bit later, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they're gone. But not all good deals have disappeared.
Still looking for some great ideas for some great gifts? Well, we have some for you, even though Black Friday and Cyber Monday have passed. I'm Eben Brown in Miami. I'll have those details straight ahead.
Well, it's that time of year once again. The winter forecast, we're in December. Of course, a lot of you remember this event. We're looking back at last February when we had those two big snows. You remember those rolling power outages? Could we have this again? Let's check out some stats that we had from last winter. So this is the 2020-2021 winter. We only had two big events. We had 7 inches of snow February 14th, 4 inches of snow on February 17th. But we dropped all the way down to minus 15 on February 16th. That's the second coldest temperature we've ever seen in the month of February. We did end up with 19 inches of snow, but all the other events were pretty small. All right, welcome to the Weather Center. So when we are forecasting, what we do is we look at weather models. And what weather models are, in a sense, are mathematical equations, and they spit out a forecast. The problem is we have so many weather models to look at, and they're not very accurate once we get 7 to 10 days down the road. So how I do the month-long forecast and winter forecasting, I use my pattern, which I've been developing for over 20 years. So we call it the Hetty pattern. It's a unique pattern that sets up each and every September. It lasts for a whole year, and within the pattern, there is a recurring cycle. So last year was a 46-day cycle. This year's a much longer cycle. So once you figure out what the cycle is, if it's 40, if it's 60, if it's 65, you can very accurately forecast long range. And of course, the pattern is influenced by La Nina or El Nino. And of course, this year we are in a La Nina once again. So what are we going to get this winter? Well, we have two main features that we are watching in the Hetty pattern. One, this is a La Nina. Again, like last winter, this is the part of the pattern we're in right now. The jet stream, fairly weak across the northern Rockies and then dips in, but this keeps all the rain and snow northeast of us. So we're fairly dry. The western third of the country is mainly dry. This is what I call the boring part of the pattern. A drier setup, little systems. We will get a roller coaster ride of temperatures, but we're not going to get any big snows out of this part of the pattern. The second part of the pattern we go into next week, the following week, toward Christmas. The jet stream dips farther southwest, gives us potential for bigger storms across the region. We're going to have a lot of warm temperatures ahead of them, and then we're really going to drop behind them, thunderstorms switching to snow. But again, the potential for much bigger systems. So what systems do we need to watch for? Well, here in about a week and a half, we are going to get a system in the middle of December that will give us mainly rain over to snow. Overall for the winter, I think slightly above precip, slightly above temperatures. November was warm. 3 to 4 Arctic blasts, and I'm going to forecast 15 inches of snow. We averaged 12. I don't think we're going to get a lot of snow, but we have 2 or 3 shots to get a big storm. Not a big one here, mainly rain. Right before Christmas, rain possibly over to snow. The better chance for snow is right after Christmas. That system could be a much bigger system. January is going to be a lot like November, kind of warm. We do have some events in there that could be rain over to snow, but the better shot for a big snow again moving in late in the month of February. So overall, I don't think it's going to be as bad as last winter, but we are going to get some cold snaps.
All right, Doug Heddy, thank you. Coming up in sports, Missouri Southern hosting Central Oklahoma for their MIAA conference opener. Plus, Carl Junction and Nevada meeting up in the championship game of the CJ Classic.
Southern men and women open up conference play this evening. The women enter tonight's game coming off back-to-back wins. Missouri Southern hits the floor against Central Oklahoma. Lions get the offensive board. Amaya Johns puts it back for 2. Then Lacey Stokes drives to the net. Layup is good, plus the foul, 3-point play. Lions have their largest lead of the first half at 16-4. Central Oklahoma, the better team in the second quarter, but in quick transition, Caitlin Honeycutt lays it in at the buzzer. 35-32, Lions lead at half. Elaine Skiles sinks the triple, extends the Lions lead to a more comfortable 8 points. Then fourth quarter, Stokes again. She finishes with a team-high 33 points. That's a record for most by a freshman in school history. 3 straight for Missouri Southern. The Lions win 81-74.
I knew coming in that, there was a lot on my shoulders. They asking me to lead and stuff, and I've done that for the last 4 years of high school, and so I've been prepared to do that. I don't really focus on the outside things. I just do what we need to win, and we just all play hard together and for each other, and that's all that matters.
Of course, Lacey was tremendous tonight as well, but it was just fun to watch our kids compete that hard and have some success that for all their hard work they put in.
The Southern men are 3-3, aiming to get over 500 against UCO. Christian Bundy spins, drops it in for 2. Then Alex Jones from the corner knocks down the 3. Lions within 3. UCO this time Cam Givens for 3. Lions still trying to catch up, working for the rebound here out to Winston Desiso. He sinks it. Missouri Southern comes from behind to win as time expires, 77-75. At the high school level, the CJ Classic wraps up tonight. The Bulldogs have tallied wins over Neosho and Seneca so far in the tournament. Tonight, Carl Junction hits the floor against Nevada for a shot at the championship. Destiny Berge from deep knocks down the 3. The Bulldogs with an early lead. Second quarter, Abby Heathman, quick release. Tigers working to keep up. And then it's Kylie Scott. She shows her range. Sinks the 3. Bulldogs up 35-21 in the third. Fourth quarter now. Hallie Shorter from behind the arc. Carl Junction rolls by Nevada 60-41 to win the tournament. The Carthage Lady Tigers Invitational is underway. Webb City opened the tournament with a win on Wednesday. Today, Webb City falls to Sunrise Christian 38-23. Back with more news after this.
Black Friday and Cyber Monday have come and gone, but if you're not one of the millions of Americans who went bargain hunting, don't worry. There are still deals to be had. Fox's Evan Brown has more from Miami in this edition of Fox on Tech.
Black Friday and Cyber Monday have both come and gone, with retailers reporting strong sales this year. But if you ate too much turkey and got stuck on the couch, you're still in luck. Major retailers are still offering big deals on hot tech toys for the holidays. Because of the ongoing supply chain issues, a number of big-ticket items are scarce this year, including the best-selling PlayStation 5. Chances are you won't be able to find one in the wake of Black Friday, but wait a week or two, and you're likely to catch a restock. If your special someone is looking for a new computer, the Samsung Chromebook 4 is heavily discounted at many online retailers. It's slim, lightweight, features 4 gigabytes of memory and voice control with Google Assistant. For those looking for a laptop with more of a punch, the Lenovo Flex 3 Chromebook features finger touch navigation, multi-core processing, and a built-in webcam with a microphone. For the neat freak in your life, try the Anker UV Robot Vacuum. It's capable of mapping your home and automatically adjusts the amount of suction when it goes from rugs to hard surfaces. It's even compatible with Amazon Alexa.
And if you're planning on shipping any of these gifts, the post office recommends putting them in the mail by December 15th. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Next, going to take a unique trip around the world.
The countdown to Christmas is on. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer with a look at some spectacular Christmas tree lighting ceremonies around the world coming up.
Christmas tree lighting ceremonies here in the U.S. and overseas are filling the world with holiday magic. Fox News correspondent Ashley Strohmeyer has a look at all the festivities.
3, 2, 1.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, decked out in 50,000 lights and a massive crystal star weighing in at 900 pounds. New York City's iconic 79-foot-tall Norway spruce ushering in the holiday spirit during Wednesday's lighting ceremony.
To be able to see such a massive tree in one of the best cities in the world is one of the greatest feelings in the world.
But the excitement didn't end in the Big Apple, with a colossal 84-foot-tall white fir also coming to life in the nation's capital. Nicknamed Sugar Bear, this giant is adorned with more than 15,000 ornaments.
In wartime and in peace, in tribulation and triumph, the Christmas tree has offered a sense of hope and resilience to the nation.
Meanwhile, international celebrations proving to be just as festive, with crowds in Israel flocking to the city of Nazareth for a lighting ceremony accompanied by a fireworks show. And in the UK, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and a children's choir led a countdown to Christmas outside his government office. And back here in the States, anyone looking to get their tree should know prices may be rising, but experts say supplies are expected to be plentiful. If you do purchase a live tree, experts recommend cutting an inch off the end of the trunk before placing it in the stand and say make sure to give it plenty of water. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. As always, thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with video of the Candyland Christmas Parade in Parsons, Kansas. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.